Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe and having fun doing your schoolwork. I thought that I would just jump on here a quick sec and give you a little tutorial on how to use SmartMusic once you've set up your account, how to go about using it for practicing. So SmartMusic is a program, a website that I actually had looked into before all of this had happened. But when it came down to it, it actually was frightfully expensive. So it wasn't something that I wanted to explore too much further once I found out how much it would cost. However, since all of this has gone down during this pandemic and we haven't been able to be at school, they have very generously offered their website for free for people affected by the school closures. So what a great opportunity for us to take advantage of this very valuable program that will help you continue to practice your instrument. You get to play your instrument along with the rest of the band, so to speak, and you can actually check your accuracy. You can use it to send me recordings of yourself, and you can use it to check your own rhythms, your own pitches, all that kind of stuff that we would have been doing in class if we had been meeting all together. So it's got a lot of features, and I'm just going to show you a very couple of them to start with today. And as we move through this together, we will explore more. So this is just a basic little tutorial on how to get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and then you can see how this goes. All right, so here is my Google landing page, just whatever comes up when I first open my browser. I'm going to go to the address bar and I'm going to type in smartmusic.com and hit enter. Now we've already set up accounts. I think almost everyone has already done that, so we don't need to join a class or anything like that yet. We can just go up straight to the top where it says login in an orange box. And we're going to choose the new SmartMusic. And it will take you to this login screen. Now I've already saved my details here, but you'll have to just type in your username or your email, and then of course your password, and then you can log in. Now this is my fake student account in the grade 8 class. So when I first log in, if you're in grade 8, this is probably what you see. If you're in grade 6 or 7, you might see something slightly different, but somewhat the same. So you have assignments up here. There's a few that I stuck in there just to try it out. And the newest one down here, you can see Star Splitter Fanfare due on May 4th. That is a flexible date. I just threw that in there to give you an idea of how to use this. And I had to put a due date on it. So that's what I did. So, and even if you've passed the due date on these things, you can still submit it for a couple of weeks after the fact if you want to try it out. So when I'm in here, I'm just going to click on this Star Splitter Fanfare due on May 4th. And it says I have no uploaded takes yet. I'm going to just click on complete assignment. So the very first thing, no matter what part you or what instrument you chose when you set up your account, you still get to choose an instrument. So there's different options here. For bass guitar, you will probably have to choose something different. So like a trombone, you can use the trombone part if you're a bass guitar. I think all the other parts will be in here to choose from. So, or you could choose baritone, euphonium if you're a bass player. So I am going to choose, for the purposes today, I'm going to choose flute, and I'm going to hit OK. It opens up my title and the score, which is the music. And then there's an instructions. Now, I have the option when I set up your assignment to change these instructions, but I haven't done that yet. This just says perform the entire piece use the tempo slider to slow down your difficult sections, and then you can submit once you can play this entire piece, which if you're in grade 8 will be quite easy. If you're in grade 6, this is going to be a challenge, so that's why one of the other assignments I gave you was just portions of the Star Splitter fanfare. So we've already started this piece of music in class, so you probably already are familiar with it, but I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do through this SmartMusic app, which makes it kind of fun to practice at home. So up at the top, you can see there's a few different sliders. There's accompaniment, and there's this little orange microphone type looking icon. The slider allows you to adjust the sound of the accompaniment. So that is the sound of the rest of the band. So if you want to hear yourself in with everyone else, then keep this up at full. If you don't want to hear the rest of the band, then you can actually just click on that icon there and it will mute it. So it's got a little bar with an X. So I want to hear the full accompaniment right now. Over here, you've got my part. So again, this one's muted right now, so I'm going to turn it on. So I can hear my specific flute part playing along with the band. Over here's the metronome. So that is just that steady beat that keeps going throughout the piece. So you just tick, 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 tick. And you can make it louder or softer or turn it off if you want, but I wouldn't suggest that initially. You can also have this checkbox for subdivisions. So that would be like your 8th note. So if instead of, if you've got a slower tempo where it's going tick, 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 and you want to hear the 8th note subdivisions, you could hear tick, 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 1 and 2 and. So something like that would help if you've got a really slow tempo or if you've got really difficult rhythms that you need to figure out. So those are the sliders on the top. Over here, right here, you can see is the tempo. The little flag came up when I hovered over it. So right now it's 129, which is very close to the intended tempo from the composer for the performance. So 132, 129 is pretty close. So that is the tempo that's set for your what I hope to hear in the end. So while you're working on it, you're going to want to take that down quite a bit. So you can just use the plus or minus, or you can actually just type in a tempo as well. So if I type in quite a bit slower would be, let's say 88. So that's quite a lot slower than the performance tempo, but it's probably a good practice tempo, especially if you're just starting out learning this. So if I've got, I'm going to put this back up to 132, which is the performance tempo. So you can hear how this goes. So I've got a blue little slider here, and when I hit the play button up here, then it's going to play, it's going to give you a count in, and then it's going to play through the piece until I hit stop. So I'll show you that. So if I hit pause, see my blue slider is right where I left off there. Now I'm going to take the accompaniment down. And so it's just quite low, and then I can hear my flute part a little bit better. And I can add it or adjust it until it's at a good level for me. And then when I know it really well, I can just turn the accompaniment right up on top. So that's one little feature that's fun to be able to hear the different parts along with your part. It's also helpful for the metronome. You could hear it kind of ticking along through the whole thing to keep you going at the same tempo. And especially when you start recording, you'll want to make sure that you have that to keep going at the right tempo. So a couple other cool little features is one being that I'm on the flute part right now, and say I'm a flute player and I'm unfamiliar with this note right here. So I just clicked on this G right here. And there's a couple different options that I can see. Down here you can kind of see there's two little tiny buttons. The first one on the left will show you the fingering. So if I'm not sure what the fingering is for that particular note, it can bring it up for me. And then the second one on the other side actually plays that note. So I can test it out. I can play it myself and then hear what it's supposed to sound like and judge based on that, whether I'm getting the right pitch or not. That's especially going to be useful for the brass players amongst us. So if you're not quite sure that you're hitting the notes correctly, then just play it and test it out and see if you're correct. So that's a handy little tool. The other little tool that I'm going to show you right now for practicing, especially if you see up at the top, you've got tracks, my take, assessment. Loop is what I want to show you right now. So loop is like what we would do in class, where we would take 2 or 3 bars and we'd play them over and then over again and over again until we got them. So for the difficult parts, if you're having trouble getting something, then that's very useful. So when I want to set up a loop, I can come up to the top here and it says set or clear. So let's set a loop, and it gives me these 2 little things to highlight a section. So if I want to say do just the first 4 bars in loop, I can do that. And then when I practice it and when I go to hit play, it will count me in. I'll play the 4 bars and then it'll count me in again. And you can keep doing that indefinitely. You've got you can adjust your count off here, but 4 is the easiest one. And I can just hit play. And count it in again. So you get the idea. Notice that when I stopped, my little cursor blue line thingy was right here. So when I hit play, that's where it started from. So if you want to start at a particular spot, just take your cursor and click on that spot. All right, so I think that's it for now. That's the first few things that I wanted to show you. And we'll come back again and I'll show you how to take a recording or to actually complete the assignment on another video. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. We'll talk to you soon.